This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by James Beech Jr., a two-time Midland area title holder, as well as a soon-to-be British and Commonwealth title challenger on Friday night. James, first and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks, mate. I'm just up for it now.
Let's obviously get into the reason behind this interview and what's going to be the biggest fight of your career to date. Facing Brad Foster on Friday, the return of British boxing. Just talk to me about how the opportunity came about to face Brad.
I ain't so sure, to be honest. I mean, I just got the phone call off Errol one of the days, and he says British and Commonwealth title against Brad Foster, and obviously he knew I was going to accept it. He didn't even ask me if I wanted it, really. He just kind of says.
I mean, I spoke to Brad last week, and Brad mentioned that you've both shared some previous rounds in sparring together. What do you take away from that? Do you take confidence from it, or do you look at it and think you can't really look into what's happened previously?
Nothing really. I mean, we only done two lots of 6-rounders, and like the sparring was good sparring. End of the day, you got 16-ounce gloves on. Some days you're more aching than others, you're more tired than others. So it's just one of them sparring.
How have you found kind of trying to prepare for this fight? Because obviously you're the first fight, the first headline fight that was announced for British boxing to return. And obviously there were still restrictions in place by the time that the fight was announced with regards to travelling and sparring and what have you. How has kind of your camp gone? What have you done differently for this camp than what you would have in normal circumstances?
Well, to be honest, for this camp, I've trained a lot harder, really. I mean, because I'm off work at the moment. So I'm training like 2-3 times a day, whereas usually I'll get up and I'll probably go for like a little run or something on the morning. Some days I don't even train twice a day when I've been fighting for my Midlands titles and stuff. Whereas for this camp, I've actually trained minimum 2 times a day, every day, and I've really put the work in. So I think I'll be the fittest I've ever been, really.
How much sparring have you been able to kind of squeeze into this tight space of time?
A lot, to be honest. I mean, there's a couple of lads up BCB who are ticking over themselves. There's like Thomas Asomba and Ayaz Hamid, who have been a massive help to me, really. I'd like to thank them for helping me out sparring. And the last 3-4 weeks sort of thing, we've been sparring. And I've been sparring 12 rounds, no problem. I'm just looking forward to it now.
Talk to me about being the headline show for British boxing's highly anticipated return. You know, when kind of boxing went into lockdown, or well, life went into lockdown in general, could you ever have imagined that you would be the first man back to be challenging for not just the British and Commonwealth titles, but the man who everybody's going to be watching up and down the country for the first time in however long?
Nah, honestly, I thought if anything, I was kind of hoping for the Brad Foster fight anyway, really, because he's British champion. So, like, you've always got one eye on that sort of thing. But I would never expect to be headlining BT Sports Show. It's just one of them. I haven't really thought about it properly at the minute because I don't want to get myself too worked up about it and get excited. I just want to keep my feet on the ground and just get that win on Friday.
Do you feel there is going to be an added sense of pressure on you, knowing that everybody's going to be tuning in to watch yourself and Brad on Friday night?
Nah, not really. I think it'll just be the same amount of pressure as usual. I don't really care about stuff like that. All I'm nervous about is getting the win, and I'll be the same amount of nerves I've had in my over 12 previous fights.
It's obviously going to be held at the BT Sports Studios. How do you feel boxing behind closed doors? How do you think you'll react to it?
I think it'll just be like normal, really. I mean, you've got a person stood opposite you trying to punch you, so a fight's a fight, end of the day. It is what it is. Like I say, it's going to be the same for both of us. Once you're getting punched in the head and you start fighting, you ain't going to be too fussed about that. All you're going to do is want to win.
In your own mind, how have you kind of envisaged the fight playing out between the pair of you?
I've envisaged it a few different ways, really. I mean, I've like looked at it whereas I could go toe to toe, and then I could try and box and stick on my jab and my straight shots. But I ain't too sure. We're just going to have to get in there and just see how it goes, really.
Why do you think Brad wanted to face yourself? Why do you think he didn't choose another fighter as a voluntary defence?
I ain't too sure, to be honest. I mean, we're both local lads, and my name's probably on his radar more than others because, like I say, we have sparred in the past, and because I'm a local lad, he's super bantamweight. My name's going to come up in the head, really.
You obviously collected the Midlands area titles at Feather and Super Feather, coming down now to Super Bantam. That drop in weight, how have you found it throughout your career? Do you think that's possibly one reason why Brad's looked at you and thought it could be a step too far?
It's nice, it's one of them. I don't think Brad will look at it like that. I mean, end of the day, I've been up at super featherweight, but everyone's always know that I'm a super bantamweight. When I've been up at super featherweight, I've made it clear I want to be a super bantamweight. I've just took them fights just to get me active and to stay busy, really, because I want the big fights.
Who do you think there's more pressure on? Obviously, you've got a clean record of 12-0. Brad's got a couple of draws on his record, but he's still obviously unbeaten. And with on the back of his victory over Luce and Reed, you know, who do you think there is more pressure on? Do you think it's on Brad or is it on you to make the most of the opportunity?
It's probably the same for both of us, really. I mean, we're both topping the bill, BT Sport. I want to win this fight more than anything in the world, to be honest. But like I say, the pressure is just one of them. You just learn to deal with it. I won't be feeling the pressure come Friday. As soon as you walk out and my tune plays, all the pressure, you just thrive off it then, and I'm sure Brad will be the same.
What would a win do for your career?
It boosts it massively. I mean, like I say, I'm on BT Sports, and then if I win this, I'll be a regular. I'll be a British champion, so I'd have accomplished everything I've set out to do in professional boxing, really. It's everything to me.
Obviously, in some cases with voluntary defences, people have looked to put in rematch clauses and what have you in case it doesn't go the way. Do you know of anything like that? Do you know if Brad has got a rematch clause in case you was to be victorious on Friday night?
No, I don't believe there's nothing like that in the contract or anything, to be fair.
Moving on, how can you kind of see the rest of 2020 playing out for you if you was victorious? I know you've mentioned what it can do for you to have lifted that British title, but how do you think the rest of 2020 would play out for yourself?
I don't know, to be honest. I ain't really looked past Friday now, so I've just literally got tunnel vision on Friday. But I think come October, I think things are going to be back to normal anyway. So you'll have a little rest after this one, and then you'll be back out to October, and then probably around Christmas time either way. So hopefully things are just back to normal.
Obviously, fight night's only a matter of a few days away now, James. What's your kind of knowledge of the fight week events? When do you have to travel down to London, and what kind of procedures have you been told you've got to follow, precautions that you've told you've got to follow?
I'm off down London in the morning for 10 o'clock. We've got to be there and then have coronavirus test and then just stay in the room other than training and to eat. And that's life until Friday, and then Friday fight, come home hopefully with them totals and then back to normality.
Just final thing on that, how do you feel, or how do you think you'll find trying to obviously make weight, knowing that there's restrictions in place with regards to training and what have you?
To be honest, mate, the weight ain't really an issue now. I think we're quite comfortable with how the weight is. I've rested up the weekend. I ain't been flogging myself into the ground. I've worked hard the last 5-6 weeks since I've got the fight, and the weight's under control. It's
James, before I let you go, final word to yourself. What would you like to say to everyone who tunes in to watch your fight with Brad Foster on Friday night?
Support James Beech. It's a massive opportunity for me, and it's going to mean the world to me when I get the win. I'd just like to thank my sponsors, James Evans Financial Services, NBA, and Bronze Beauties. It really means a lot for this one because, like I say, I have been full-time. So, cheers.
James, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon in the near future. Stay safe, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social. Best of luck on Friday.
Top man, thank you.